fuel from the fuel tank, both to be supplied to the injector. Basically, we have fuel injection pump will have the effect, have the injection pressure is more while injecting fuel inside the combustion chamber. This will be provides good injection of fuel and heavy viscous fuel can be used. This diesel engine is already high viscous compared with the petrol. We know that because viscosity means thickness of the fuel will be the more in diesel engines, and petrol is highly vaporable. You keep it outside, automatically evaporizes. And injecting of the diesel engine, heavy viscous fuels also can be injected through injector perfectly to the combustion chamber of the engine. Diesel disadvantage is air compressor needs extra maintenance and system is bulky and expensive. And this will be having fuel injection pump and small compressor is required for the having the supply of the fuel to the injector inside. And solid or airless injection system. Here a fuel is directly injected into the cylinder without the aid of the compressor air. Basically, whatever you are seeing single cylinder diesel engines, all will be solid or airless injection system. The fuel does not vaporize at ordinary temperatures also. The fuel supplied needs to be atomized and mixed with the air. It requires high injection pressure over a 70 bar. Basically, if air injection or a solid injection, whatever injection you are going to take up, the high pressure is required to atomize the fuel to getting of the combustion. And types of solid fuel injection will be having mechanical injection and electronic injection. Most of the diesel engines will have a solid or airless injection system will be there on the engines. And mechanical injection is the oldest system where you are having electronic injection now. And we have a separate discussion will be there for electronic injection. The mechanical injection is further classified as common rail direct injection system, CRDI engines, where you are going to see where you have a specialized engines, common rail direct injection system, CRDI engines, and individual pumping system. Individually also you can have each and every cylinder, you have an individual system to supply the fuel, and distribution system, distributor system. You have a distributor of the fuel. Hello? Hello? This is about the common rail direct injection system. This is the common rail. We have a pump will be there. In this pump, we are going to have the cap controller will be there for cam operation. And here, through the cam, it goes to the fuel injection pump, and from the fuel injection pump, where we have a push rod, we have a wedge will be there. Then we have a rocker arm will be there. Then it goes to the fuel injector. This is the fuel injector where we are going to have. And this is called the fine spray nozzle will be there here to nozzle the. And we have a pincher and barrel arrangement will be there to have the spring will be loaded, and where we are going to through this pump and the fuel injector, and while injecting of the fuel. And needle valve will be there. Then we have a fuel lines will be there, the cylinders. Each and every cylinder, this will be separate common rail system. Each and every cylinder we have separate. We have 4-cylinder engine, we have 4 fuel injectors will be there to supply the fuel. And high pressure relief valve will be there. High pressure pump is there from the fuel tank to the high pressure fuel tank. And fuel lines will be there. Each and every cylinder we have a fuel injector. There is a common rail system. Commonly it is arranged because you know the firing order of the cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4 is the firing order of a cylinder of a 4-cylinder engine. The similar way injection also will have the same thing. 1, 4, and 2, 3 is the sequence of the firing order or injection of the common rail system. And advantage of the system is simple, easy to maintain, easy to maintenance, and commonly used old system will be the common rail system. The system is very simple in design because each and every cylinder will have the fuel injector and fuel pump, and individual fuel pumps and fuel injectors will be there. Commonly, it will be supplies in sequence way. Okay, you can control the fuel supply as per load and speed of the engine. You can control the fuel supply as per the load and speed of the engine. And it has only one pump needed for a multi-cylinder engine. Sometimes you can have a one pump or you can have a multi-cylinder engines also have different pumps also. In this system, you can have one pump or you can have 4-cylinder engine is there. 4 pumps also will be there. For each and every cylinder, we have pump and fuel injector will be there. And you can have a multi-cylinder engines. Sometimes you may be having single pump also, it can be survived with the system. But if you have heavy speed engines, heavy capacity engines, you need each and every cylinder will have a fuel pump and fuel injector. The system needs accurate design, and there is a chance of developing leakage at the valve seat, and injection pressure used are the range of 200 to 300 bar of pressure. Because very high pressure, 200 bar and 300 bar is very high pressure. Because 70 bar is required to atomize the fuel for each and every fuel injector will need 70 bar minimum. And if you have a maximum of it, more atomization and more combustion will be taking place inside the engine. And this is about the individual pump system. I have a individual pump system. We have P1, P2, P3, P4 are the pumps, and you have N1, N2, N3, N4. 4 cylinders will be there. And I already told about 1,4 and 2,3 or 1,4, 2,3 is the sequence where you have fuel will be injected inside this thing. Then here you can see the fuel injector. We have a low pressure tank, and it goes to the fuel injection pump. Individual pumps will be there, P1, P2, P3, and each and every pump will atomizes the fuel and sending to the fuel injector. These are the fuel injectors we will see in the 4-cylinder engine. And each and every system we are going to have the individual pump and individual fuel injector will be atomizes the fuel. And this is about the distribution system, how the distribution will be taking place in the distribution system. And the distributor will distribute the fuel, depends upon the requirement of the engine, because each and every cylinder, as per the speed, as per the load, as per the cubic capacity of the engine, the demand is there. And this is called gear wheel. In gear wheel, here you have cams. Cams will be operating, metering pressure pump will be there. Then you have a control tank, because the cams are operating the fuel pump, and the fuel cams will be operating the valves arrangement and the fuel pump. Fuel pump also will be operated with the cam. And this cam will be having, this is a distributor block. It can distribute the each and every injector will be distributed through injection pumps individually or a common rail system. If it is a common rail system, you can have only one pump. You can have individual system, you can have individual pumps will be there. And each and every pump will atomizes the fuel, sending to the fuel injector, and will be injecting the fuel like this. And you have a sequential way, you can have a firing order, you can have a injection pressure. And through this, it can be distributes the fuel to the from the fuel tank to the fuel distributor, distribute to the pumps to the fuel injector. Okay, this is about the mechanical design and all. We can see now the electronic fuel injection system, where how it will be working and all. Now we are going to talk about ECU. What is an ECU? Electron control unit. This is very important nowadays. Whatever the vehicles you are seeing in automobiles, all vehicles will have the in automobile industry an electronic control unit. ECU is an embedded electronic device. Okay, this is a very important, basically a digital computer that reads the signals coming from the sensors placed at various parts and in different components of the car, and depends on this information control various important units, example engine and other automated operations within the car among many. Because once the ECU has come, we have a lot of fuel wastage has reduced, and whatever the vehicle is moving, how much speed it is going, how much load it is going, what is the cubic capacity of the engine, what type of acceleration you are giving, how you are giving the acceleration. And these are all will be calculated through the sensors, and it's sending to the electronic control unit. The control unit sent the required fuel only, because in the mechanical system, the same quantity of fuel will be always sent to the fuel injector for the automation. But here electronics control unit will decides the fuel quantity of the fuel and sending to the fuel injector for the combustion. And this is about the electronic control unit, where you are going to, in place of all other things, like you are going to have the passenger room mounted. Here we are going to have the engine compartment mounted, and you have the EC unit. This is the EC unit where we are going to see electronic control unit, and it is mounted in the location of the car, where you can give the acceleration, where you are giving the acceleration, because the acceleration is the main point where you are throttling the fuel supply system. How we are doing this in two-wheelers or four-wheelers, whenever you are giving the acceleration only, throttle will opens and speed will be pickups. Because where here the fuel control unit will be located here for passing of the fuel. And this is the electron control unit. And types of ECUs. In the ECUs also, we are going to have a different types of control. First, initially, they made it with a microcontroller based unit. Next, digital control unit we are going to make. This control unit will work with the battery power. And once the engine will start, if you give the ignition, that same itself it will be actuated and it works off. And this ECU will have a different types for different engines. One is the engine control module, ECM, and EBCM, electronic bike control module will be there. This is all another thing. Because PCM, powertrain control module will be there, and vehicle control module will be there, VCM, and body control unit will be there, that is the BCM. These are the different modes of ECUs as designed for different types of vehicles on the road, and they are using it for efficiently and comfortably. The now mileage has been changed and speed has more for the nowadays all the vehicles. All vehicles will now we are having electronic control units because the electronic control unit will be depends upon the sensor based unit where you have different locations. Sensors will be arranged, and through the sensors it receives the signals and sends the fuel to the fuel injector. This is called hardware design of ECU, and this is about input sensors and supply battery one, battery and ground, can, we have light, and we have analog digital inputs will be given, and power supplies will be given, and can will be given, line 1, line 2 is given, and controller will be there, and applications will be there, base software will be there, relay drivers, discrete drivers, ACS, and motor lights, relays, LEDs. These are the different types of sensors will be arranged throughout the vehicle. Because where you have a moving parts, where you are giving the acceleration, where you have a braking system, where you have a wheel system, where you are going to have the torque, because basically braking unit or gear unit and the engine power, and how it is developing, how the fuel will be sending it, all will be sensors will be there. Sensors will send the signals to the ECU, and the ECU will decide the fuel quantity, how much fuel to be sent to the engine for getting up the combustion. And the components of the ECU will have, an ECU consists of a number of functional blocks. One is the power supply unit. This is digital analogous, power of analog sensors will be there. And we have MPU, microprocessor, and memory, usually flash and RAM will be using for a microcontroller based units, and communication links, where you have example CAN buses, where communication links, where you have communications will be there, and it can have the communication also. Discrete inputs, on off switches, type of inputs, and the frequency inputs, encoders, type signals like a crank of vehicle speed and all will be going through the frequent inputs, frequency inputs, analog inputs, feedback signals from sensors, and switch outputs, on or switch type outputs, PWM outputs, variable frequency and duty cycle, injector or ignition, and this will be have PWM outputs, variable frequency and duty cycle, example injector or the ignition. Frequency outputs will be having constant duty cycle, example stepper motor, and ideal speed control will be there for the frequency output. Frequently, how the outputs will be there, that will be having in a cyclic manner. They are using a stepper motors, and ideal speed control will be using, idlers will be using for a controlling of the speeds. And what an ECU does? The ECU uses closed loop control. This is a closed loop control equipment, a control system scheme that monitors the outputs of the system to control the inputs to a system, managing the emissions and fuel economy of the engine, as well as the host of other parameters. Basically, what happens whenever you are having the requirement of the engine, requirement of the speed, requirement of the load, you are giving the fuel, then you are giving a less fuel, getting combustion also will be less. Because whatever the quantity is required for the requirement of the vehicle, that only you are sending it. So we are having some minimum emission losses, and power economy, fuel economy will be the more in a ECU unit. Gathering data from dozens of different sensors, the ECU performs millions of calculations each second. This is a very important. Gathering data from the dozens of different sensor units in your vehicle, the ECU performs, electronic control unit performs millions of calculations in each second, including looking up the vehicle in tables, calculating the result, of a long equation to decide the best spark timing and best ignition timing to determining how long the fuel injector is to be open. Where the fuel engine, how much to open and how much to be injected, that can be decided by this ECU control. Number of trenching. A modern ECU might contain 32-bit, 40 megahertz processor will be there, 32-bit, 40 megahertz processor, which may not sound fast compared to the processor we probably have in our PCs, but the processor in our car runs a much more efficient code. The code in the average ECU takes less than 1 megabyte of memory. By comparison, we probably have at least 2 gigabytes GB of programs on our computers. 2000 times the amount in the ECU. This is the where you have the capacity of the ECU. A modern ECU might contain 32-bit, 40 megahertz processor, which may not sound fast compared to the processor we probably have in our PCs, but the processor in our car runs a much more efficient code. The code in an average ECU takes up less than 1 megabyte of memory. By comparison, we probably have at least 2 gigabyte of programs in our computers, or 2000 times that amount in an ECU. This is about the AutoStar architecture. The software is structured according to AutoStar with the application layer of RTG and base softwares. The architecture is divided into 4 main parts. The application layer contain the applications, functions, primary model based runtime environment, RTG, where there is abstraction of the ECU hardware, providing a common routine environment. Base software, basic service of communication, input, memory, and system functionality. Flash loader, standalone application allowing a flash update of the system. This is about the AutoStar architecture of a vehicle. The need of AutoStar. Without proper software standard, every company built its own software solution or utilized third-party software for the same. Integration of third-party software created implementations issues, wrapper software, interface components, issues with the testing methodology, etc. The several tool chains further required to associate the hardware with the software. It piled up the issue of tier 1 manufacturers who now had to integrate different software for each OEM. These integration problems provide difficult to identify and costly debug in the long run. AutoStar provides different functional blocks for the integration of application layer with microcontroller unit. The total ECU unit works with the microcontroller based units with the different sensors. This is about implementation with auto sensor and all. We can understand by knowing of electronics system services and communication services, and we have memory, then we have onboard device, fabrication and all. These are the applications, how we are going to give the application. And depending upon the nature of the circuit, the engine mapping can change completely. On slower and faster tracks, the engine control system will help the driver have more control on the throttle input by making the first half of the pedal movement very sensitive. You can see this here. We're going to have the ECU unit here, and you have adjustment. You have a gas, you have an adjustment here, and you have microcontroller based engine control will be there, where you have an accelerator, where you have pressing the accelerator, and through your acceleration pressing only, it will be opens and fuel will be injected here. And you can see this air system here, and you have a throttle system. The throttle, how it will be opening. This is a throttle valve where you are going to have, and this is called an injector where you are going to send the injection. This is about the throttle valve operation. How much quantity we are going to release it, and it goes straight to the inside. At high speed circuit, the driver has to jump on the throttle more rather than the gradual applying full throttle. The accelerator will be set so that only a small movement will result in full engine acceleration. Those who know the driving, they know the how to give the acceleration with a slower movement and low gear and high gears and high speeds. And they can be knowing it, how they are opening the throttle, how they are giving the acceleration, and what speeds and what gears, how they are giving it. It can be noticed through this applications and steps. The functions has to be repeated every 20 millisecond steps. It's a very minute steps, very milliseconds. It can be having the function and read the data captured by the analog to digital converter ADC on the channel to which the accelerator pedal is connected. It's a very important point. Read the data captured by the analog to the digital converter ADC on the channel to which the accelerator pedal is connected. Using this data, look up the value from the multi-dimensional table map, which can contain the engine RPM, rotation per minute, a rotation per second also you can have it. Rotation per minute as another input axis. Take the output value from the map, multiply by correction factor. Depending on, for example, performance and economy mode of the engine also can be calculated. The output of this calculation is the torque to be generated by the engine, and repeat the sequence for every 20 milliseconds. So very minute seconds we are going to calculate for giving up through sensors, calculating, sending up the PI. Some other applications. Now, how everybody knows that ABS is very famous. There is no skidding in the vehicle. If you have a mechanical braking system, we have a lot of skidding and all. If you have ABS, all four wheels will be locked. How? Again, you have sensor system. Wherever the vehicle is moving at what speed and what load, and you are going to have a sudden braking. All four wheels are applied depends upon the speed and calculations. How much brake should be applied? It will be calculated and be using of it. ABS is a very standard braking system, very accurate. We can have the very good accuracy of the braking of the vehicle without skidding of any movement, either it's a smog or rainy season or anything. No skidding will be take place in the anti-locking brake system. Now every vehicle will have an anti-locking brake system of high-end vehicles and is very comfortably using of it, and it can decide how much pressing is required of the brake, how much speed you are going. It's all everything will be calculated and controlled. Electronics brake distribution force EBD also there. Power windows, you will be knowing it. Every car will have power windows, power steering, a lot of things. We have a climate control assistance will be there. Park assistant will be there. Collision warning will be there, and we have head-up display will be there. Or and cruise control also will be there. Whenever we want to go for the very higher speeds and it is fixed 90 kilometers per speed or 100 kilometers speed, you can fix up the acceleration control and you can remove your leg and you can apply. Whenever if any object is coming, just you push the brake, automatically it comes to the normal position. And airbags control system, ACS also will be there in every vehicle nowadays. And you have a four-wheel drive, you have a two-wheel drive, front-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive, and a four-wheel drive for most of the vehicles where you can go into Kacha roads and all mountains and all. Particularly in tractors, we have a four-wheel drive, and we have jeeps, we have a four-wheel drive, and any more of the vehicles we are going to have this thing. Now we go to see the ECU challenges. The worst place in the world to be put a sophisticated piece of electronics in is under the bonnet of the car due to massive vibrations, constant heat ventilation variations, and intense radio interference from the ignition system, added to the fact that the manufacturers must produce on a huge scale. This causes so many problems in design flows with the modern day of misuse. The worst place in the world to put the sophisticated pieces of electronics is under the bonnet of the car due to massive vibrations and constant heat variations and intense radio interference from the ignition system, added to the fact that the manufacturers must produce the huge scale. This causes so many problems and design flaws with the modern day of misuse. And we have a lot of sophisticated equipment having has come, and cooling system also coming up on ECU units, and a lot of changes has come for the engine modifications. So this is about the ECU control and all. Okay, any doubts, friends? Hello? Hello?
No, sir.
No doubts, because I have orientation of MTech classes today. Hello?
Sir.
Sarthak?
Sir, I am here.
Hello? Today I have orientation of MTechs. Okay?
No,
So participate from 2 o'clock onwards.
okay, sir. So you are leaving, sir?
Huh?
You are leaving class?
I'm leaving class. Tomorrow we'll join by 8:30.
Okay, sir. No problem, sir. See you
Okay.
tomorrow. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
sir.
Thank you all.
Bye, sir.